Hi guys, welcome back to another podcast on the Elevate with Ayan Agha podcast. And with me, I have a very esteemed, very special guest. Some might know him
Flatter me.
as some might know him as the king of calculus. Some might know him as a very goofy character at school. But with me, I have Mr. Alex Mathieson. Alex, how are you? Pretty good. Yeah. How's your evening going in Auckland right now?
Haven't really done much. Just been doing a bit of light study.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you
just
have
cruising.
exams?
Yeah. Got a physics exam on Thursday, which to be
Okay.
honest, I'm not
Oh
overly
yeah.
worried about.
Right. That's great. Because I finished my exams like I think my last exam was on Thursday, and now I'm free for the
Whoa,
next 4 or 5 weeks.
that's crazy. Our exam
Yeah.
month
Yeah.
starts tomorrow, essentially, and then
Oh,
the
okay.
rest of June is exam, and then
Okay. So
holidays.
is it different for different universities?
Well, presumably, I mean, case in point.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Okay.
Adam and Auckland are different, so
Okay. So
yeah.
just to get us started in this episode, I just wanted to ask if you would be willing to introduce yourself to the audience.
Yourself.
Yeah, yourselves.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm a I don't really know how to describe myself. Bit of a crazy character. Uh, hmm. Well, my name's Alex. I study physics, which clues you into the fact that maybe I'm slightly mental. But I study commerce as well, a conjoint degree, because my dad said that you'll never get a job in physics, which was highly
Right.
encouraging. Yeah, so I live in Auckland. I go to Auckland Uni. I'm in one of the dorms. This is this is my room. This is about the entirety of the room. Not much else. There's a door, and that's about all the features you get. Uh, yeah, I enjoy thinking logically and putting my mind to the task on certain things. I work for a tutoring company, and I like to read and play guitar. And that's about it. That's me condensed into a 1 minute nutshell.
That is awesome. In terms of your education career, in terms of high school, I mean, um,
Hmm.
I know, like personally, me and you, I know the audience won't know this, but I'll give a sort of overview of like how I know Alex. So basically, I've known him since 2021. We went to high school together from year 10 to, well, year 13, and now he's at a different university. I'm at a different university. But essentially, Alex has been one of the most smartest people that I know. Uh, I have no idea why you're flattered. That is presumably true. I don't know anyone smarter than him currently. Um,
That's a
but
bold statement.
in terms of high school, we were one of the smartest people. I know you would agree with that. Um,
Hmm.
and he always has a very working mindset. He'll find a problem and he'll always know the answer before anyone else. So coming towards the point, a lot of students nowadays in high school don't really choose the STEM path, so science, mathematics, engineering. So, and because you're doing physics, which is relatively a very tough subject. So, I just wanted to ask, how did you move towards a subject like physics?
Uh, I've always been mathematically inclined. I always knew I didn't like subjects like English as much, or history, or whatever, as much as the more rigorous subject. And I'm not quite sure why that was. I think maybe it's because I found it easy and just got easy marks from it and just stuck with it. Um, and so I've just continued that trend. Like I did quite well throughout all physics and calculus exams, and so I thought, hell, just continue with what I'm good at, you know. Uh, so yeah, that's the nutshell of how I came to study physics.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoyed it, and yeah, and actually enjoyment. That's a big thing. If you don't enjoy what you're studying,
Mm.
then you've made quite a critical error, I feel.
Right. So, but I guess like because in terms of physics, you would have to be very mathematically very strong and understand what's happening in different
It
equations and
helps.
all that. So yeah, it does definitely. So of course, no one's I guess doesn't have that knowledge by birth. You have to sort of learn it. Um,
Hmm.
so how did you I guess, get into the habit of understanding these sort of different mathematical rules? And did you have a tutor or something? Did you study extra hours after school? How'd you do it?
So I never had a tutor or a specific teacher or anything like that. And to be honest, I'm not sure whether it would have made any difference. I don't think I learned that well from being told things. Like, a lot of people who knew me from class, I didn't really pay attention. And that sounds terrible. I really regret that. I feel so bad. But I would often just sort of lounge around. And the main reason for that was because when I went home, I'd just sit down for 3 hours and look at past papers or watch YouTube videos and stuff. And I guess the crux of it was I worked out very early that with something like physics or calculus, it's not about memorizing rules. It's not about memorizing that V equals IR or some other gibberish. It's about actually understanding and being able to visualize the problem. Because once you visualize the problem, the rest of it just sort of crumbles away. It becomes very easy. And this is where I've been asked this a lot. I have been asked this a lot, and this is where people seem to go, "But how does that work?" When I get a physics problem, I just see the answer. Like a ball is thrown at whatever. I see it happening,
Right.
and it just sort of falls out, which is a terrible answer because that doesn't give anyone any help whatsoever.
Okay.
It's just like visualize the problem, but that's the truth.
Right.
It's just this sort of like crazy Oppenheimer moment when you close your eyes and you see all the stuff happening. It's not like that, but it's the same sort of idea. So yeah, visualization. I can like imagine things.
Did you have like any sort of study techniques, study hacks, if you were to study, before an exam?
Not really. Not. I know that's unhelpful. So let me think about it. I probably subconsciously do.
Yeah.
But I never like Googled how to study efficiently or something like that. I think you've got to find a way to enjoy study. So if you find yourself forcing yourself to do it and not enjoying it, then you're not going to get the most out of it because you're going to spend the whole time studying thinking about when you can stop. Like you're thinking, oh, in 10 minutes I get to go have a break. And if you can make that system work, then fine. But I think for me, I think for a lot of people, that just didn't really resonate. So I would only study when I found it enjoyable to do so. And quite luckily, that was, once every few days for an hour or so. I find it fun
So
to
like
sit down and...
when you didn't enjoy or when you didn't want to study, you wouldn't study?
No, I'd go play cricket with Dad.
Okay.
I'd go do something else.
Uh-huh.
And often going and doing something else, and then when you come back, you sort of motivated to sit down for 10 minutes and do a question or a problem or look into something. I don't study in long bursts. I see people sit down and do like a 5-hour time class. I don't think I've ever studied for more than 2 hours on end.
Right.
Like, it's just, once you lose enjoyment, it just becomes not something to do.
Have you heard of the study technique called active recall?
I think I have. I couldn't tell you what it is.
Okay, so basically, for those of you who don't know, active recall is basically, let's say you study for an hour, you learn a particular topic, and you go do something else without having to think about it. And then suddenly you're like, okay, let's remember what we learned 1 hour, 1 hour ago. And so you do that continuously for, let's say, the next 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. And so essentially you can pull up whatever you learned previously in a matter of seconds. And it's like sort of a habit. It's not like it happens once and then you're like, oh, I remember everything. You have to continuously do it. So my question is like, is that something that you used to do, or like not consciously but unconsciously as well?
Yeah, that sounds eerily similar to what I was describing.
Right.
Like you do something and then you lose interest in it and you go away and do something else. And then when you come back next time, you do the same thing, but you recall it. And you sort of... I've never heard of that before, but I guess I subconsciously did something quite similar. So, yeah. I think my main takeaway is I wouldn't recommend sitting down 5 hours straight. I don't think investing a lot of time at once generally sort of correlates to quality. It just drops off quite quickly.
Right. Okay. Well, I was looking at the NCA results from last year, in terms of percentages, like how many people, how many
Oh yeah.
students passed, how many students failed, and
What is it?
approximately, yeah, no, I was shocked by the
Oh
results.
god.
Yeah,
Wait, let me
so
guess. Let me guess.
okay, go
Is it
ahead.
like? Is it some like level 1 pass rate or something? Is that what you? Are these the statistics you have?
The level two.
Level 2 pass rate. I mean, like 80%, surely.
Well, overall, I know it's around 57%. Yeah,
You're
I'm
kidding.
not kidding.
No,
It's
it's
around
real.
50, 57, 60%.
What? So
Uh,
like 1 and 2 people failed.
Something like that. Yeah, overall, from like level one to level three. Uh, in level one, I think it's slightly lower. In level one, it is 53%, 52%. So I guess like when you look at those stats, you're looking at students in New Zealand who don't particularly want to study or don't enjoy going to school. And so like you look at people, you and me, like I come from a very different background. For us,
Hmm.
practically school and studying in general is a lifesaver. If you look at our culture, we're like, okay, if you go to school, you study hard, you will eventually get a good job, and you start earning money, blah blah blah. For you guys, it's obviously different, but for us, of course, it's like a mandatory path. It's our only way of having a safe future. So when I look at these results and I see 52% of students passing and the rest are failing, I can obviously see something that's wrong in the education system, particularly in New Zealand. So I just want to know your opinion. Like, why are some students, I guess, not performing in the classroom? Is it because of a student particularly, or is it the education system? Is it the government's fault? I want your opinion.
I, that's such a multi-layered question
Yeah.
because it implies there is an answer, and maybe there isn't a direct answer.
Mhm.
It's got to be some sort of result of all of the above factors.
Mhm.
Like, I don't think we can singly blame the government. I don't think it's the government's fault entirely. I don't think it's the examiner's fault entirely.
Mm.
Because, I mean, the exam scaled. It's not really the exam's fault. Like, the same number of people in theory should pass the paper, but is it the student's fault? What? I don't inherently think that you're born dumb or born smart. Maybe there's a slight tip either way.
Mhm.
But so that really just leaves the teachers. So how can you blame the teachers? So yeah, there's definitely a big difference between New Zealand culture and you're from Pakistan, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Pakistani culture in just like societal views on is school important.
Mhm.
And as you were saying, in Pakistan, it is important. People like cherish the fact that you can go to school and get an education. In New Zealand, I feel like we've become a bit entitled. Like we just take it for granted.
Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, we can go to school. I don't really want to.
Mhm.
You would never hear someone say that in Pakistan. I feel
No,
no one
never.
would.
Yeah, never.
If someone had the ability to go to school, they'd be like, yes, I
Mhm.
get to go to school. They wouldn't think, nah,
Right.
not for me. I'm going to go to the dairy.
Uh huh.
Like, but then and then yeah. In case in point, like you look at our high school. I mean, we won't say it. I get. Oh wait, did we already say it? No, we didn't already. I can't remember. But like people would ditch and go to the bakery down the road at
Yep.
lunchtime
Uh huh.
or even during class time. I think I went to Chicken Licken one in year 13 during chemistry.
Mhm.
But
I
it's
think I was
because
there.
that was. Yeah, I think you were there too.
I was there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you have study break?
I did have study break. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you were there legally.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I brought Mr. Prasad back a Toblerone piece of chocolate, so he
Mhm.
forgave me.
Okay.
But like that wasn't. None of us thought twice about that. It was just completely normal to
Mhm.
just walk out of school, and I feel like that has just become the sort of thing in New Zealand. Like school is just this expected thing that you have the option to do, as if it's not necessary. But
Right.
of course it is, and
Mhm.
these statistics are showing that a lot of people are just going, don't need school,
Mhm.
and they're not bothering, they're not turning up for the exam, they're not studying, they're not learning,
Yeah.
and so it just ends up in this complete disaster.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Would you say it's like a mix? So like not the teacher's fault, but I guess the education system, the NZQA particularly who make these exams, and the government who puts policies on the education.
it has to be a mix of certain things.
Mhm.
Like I was saying before, I don't think it would be correct to pin it down to one thing.
Mm.
It's whatever is causing this general sort of societal view that school is not of utmost importance.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's causing that, and maybe it's just maybe it's just young people just talking to one another and all just somehow jumping on the bandwagon that school is not necessary. Like, even people who are actually quite well capable and smart, they'll like watch a video of Escape the Matrix,
Yeah.
and they think, nah, school's useless, I'm not
Mhm.
going to school.
Mhm.
And it's like, and that's just one end of the spectrum. And the other end of the spectrum is people who say, oh, I just can't be bothered.
Mhm.
And yeah, I really don't know what the root cause is.
Mhm.
But maybe it's the fact that we live in such good conditions that you don't think you need to go to school to live a good life.
Yeah.
Like
No.
in Pakistan,
Yeah.
in Pakistan, I presume if you don't go to school and you don't get a good job, like, you're not going to have the best living conditions.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Whereas in New Zealand, like, a lot of kids, especially if they live in a decent house with their parents have money, they think, well, why do I need to bother trying?
Mhm.
You know, I'm going to have a
Mhm.
perfectly viable life.
Mm.
And that's, so maybe it's entitlement, sense of entitlement.
Mhm.
First world problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 4 or 5 weeks ago, I think it was NZ Herald. They posted a news about how the Ministry of Education is adding um, not a new subject, but I guess a new policy in their education system where from years 2 to 10, they have to teach children financial education, so financial literacy. And they've made that mandatory for all students in that year group. So, like, when I look at this, I'm like, okay, well, if you're adding a very crucial part of education for these groups of students, it's probably because there's something happening in the world right now that's making them do this change. So, in terms of, and the biggest change is AI, obviously. So, I just wanted to know from your opinion, um, how much AI is actually going to change in terms of our education system, or how students are going to be using AI in the classroom or in learning particularly.
It learns for us at this point.
Mm.
I don't know, have you seen it at Waikato Uni, but here it's just prolific.
Mm.
Every assignment, everyone just uses AI.
Mm.
And of course it says in the structure, don't use AI.
Mhm.
Everyone does,
Yeah.
and they reword it themselves or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, it is just this unbelievably, ruthlessly efficient tool
Mhm.
that can do practically anything.
Mhm.
It can draw now. I found that out the other day. You could ask it to draw a picture. It draws a picture.
Mhm.
How does it do that? So how do we go from like AI bots like 5 years ago were like comically awful,
Yeah.
and then suddenly at the end of 2022, ChatGPT comes into the scene,
Mhm.
and just ever since then it's just gone just rapid.
Mm.
And so if that continues, it's gonna be like there was a movie about 100 years ago, not 100 years ago, in the 50s, and they said it was I think it's called the Flintstones, or no, the Jetsons, or something like that, and it was this futuristic show for the time, and they depicted like the world in the 2000s,
Mhm.
and every home had like a big base computer, and remember this is from the 1950s, and they're all thinking about what the future's going to be like.
Mhm.
And so if we're sitting here thinking what's the future going to be like, you can sort of find parallels into what they got right and wrong guessing from the 1950s. And they thought there'd be this big home computer in every house, and it would do all your chores and everything for you. And scarily enough, a day's going to come when that is actually real.
Mhm.
Like AI will write your shopping list. It'll be able to look in your fridge and say you need this, and that.
Mhm.
You won't have to think. You won't actually have to do anything.
Mm.
That's a scary day.
Are you
That
looking
comes
forward to
along.
that day?
Not really.
No.
I quite like making my own shopping list.
Okay. Right. I mean, like, from a good point, like from a good perspective, why can't a particular student use AI for, let's say, not writing an assignment, but helping them understand a particular topic?
They're more than welcome to
Mhm.
use AI to help them understand a particular topic. That's probably one of the best uses of it. I've done that.
Mhm.
There was some random wave thing for physics, and I just put it in ChatGPT, and it explains it quite well.
Mm-hmm.
It does often make calculation errors if you give it like a math problem. I don't know whether you've ever noticed that. It'll just come out.
Yeah, I
with
have.
gibberish.
I have used it. Do you remember when we did the UC math in year 13?
Oh, yeah, remember
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So during I think differentiation integration, I could understand some of the things. So I would put the questions into ChatGPT, like copy paste them, and it would give me like a thorough answer. And sometimes I would get them wrong. Like ChatGPT would get them wrong, and most of the time it wouldn't show me where it went wrong because I particularly wouldn't understand what's going on in some of the questions. So I get, yeah, there is a huge flaw in AI right now, but slowly it is improving. Recently, do you know what Sora AI is?
No.
No? Okay. So you know how
No.
you stated about AI generating images? So it is an image
Yep.
generating AI. So it can
Okay.
generate images and it can create videos for you as well.
Oh my
Yeah. So you just have to type in a simple
God.
text prompt, about 100 words, 200 words, and
Has they got filters on it? Because people can make some alarming stuff with that.
like, because they have, when you type in Sora.com, it will show you like a gallery of pictures that people have made. Most of them are pretty normal. So like, let's say a dog looking outside the window, or like someone driving a car. Um, I haven't seen very dirty things on that website. But I
Well, they're unlikely to put it on the front
maybe
page,
yeah,
aren't they?
maybe they might not. But I'm pretty sure people are making ridiculous things like that.
Yeah. Actually, I think I saw an article. There was an MP trying to get that sort of technology banned because people were making like sexualized deepfake images of her. Like,
Oh,
what was
really?
it? Yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna Google that.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, New Zealand MP shows her nude deepfake in Parliament and exposed, and she wants to get like this sort of AI banned in New Zealand, or at least heavily sort of controlled.
What's her name?
That's which is she's from ACT, but whatever. Laura McClure,
Okay.
Laura, and then McLure.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and she literally showed up a photo of herself naked, but it wasn't a real photo.
Mm-hmm.
It was an AI generated photo. That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, if it can do that,
Mm.
how long before like you can't present evidence in court because then they can't tell whether the video is actually a real bank video or just some AI generated security
Yeah,
cam.
no, that's true. Yeah, I agree.
That sounds.
Yeah, that is crazy. Um, of course, there are bad things, there are good things about AI. So in terms of education, like, do you think the Ministry of Education is keen on implementing AI as like a topic to learn, as a subject in like schools or anything?
Keen? No,
No,
but will they? Probably.
probably.
They're going to have to.
Okay.
I mean, what are they already? They have like technology and digital tech and stuff like that, don't they? Already,
Yeah,
they've got programming.
yeah, but that's not like
Um,
particularly AI
no, it
related.
isn't. Yeah, but that's the closest thing in the ballpark at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is they probably will have to implement something like AI generation or artificial intelligence or computer network. It'll be some fancy word like that.
Right.
Yeah, because as it becomes this much more, I don't think it's going to get to like a Terminator Skynet situation where they try and take over the world.
Mm-hmm.
But like I suppose it's possible.
Yeah.
But I think we need a lot of people to take subjects
Mm-hmm.
like the one that we just described, and so that people do have some sort of control over AI and can generate safe AI chatbots.
Because I remember I was watching a video a week ago, and it was saying that the guy who was talking in the video, he said that there are going to be two types of people in this AI revolution. So one person is going to be making money from these AI bots, particularly agentic AI, and the other person is going to be struggling to find a simple job or like a simple way of earning income. And so that just,
hmm
for me, that opened my eyes. I'm like, okay, this AI thing is gonna change a whole world, change a whole perspective. And so if the average person isn't, acquiring that much knowledge to know how AI works, at least, then we can imagine that person just being left behind and not knowing what to do.
Yeah, but I presume people had the same thought like 100 years ago in the Industrial Revolution. Oh, this factory makes this stuff for us.
Mm-hmm.
We've got this new automated system that does this. Oh, no one will have any work.
Mm-hmm.
It'll only be the factory owners and the people making the machines
Mm-hmm.
that get work. But of course, that's not really true these days, is it? And I know it's not the same to draw AI and then the Industrial Revolution 100 years
Yeah.
ago, but it's possible we're getting ourselves too worried over
Mm-hmm.
it. Like maybe there will be. I still believe there will be some jobs that quintessentially require a human. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
AI can get to a point where it can do everything. It can be smarter than
Mm-hmm.
us to make better decisions than us. But I think there must be still some jobs which just require humans.
Yeah, definitely. Like jobs like, let's say, a plumber. Like I'm sure an AI can't do a plumbing
Yeah,
job, or an
exactly. Yeah,
electrician. Yeah. So like these
anything
small,
tradie.
human tradie jobs. Yeah, of course you'll need human hands for that. But things that can be automated, let's say, uh, you can have a teacher as an AI. There's a lot of AIs that are. Have you seen? You've heard of Khan Academy, right?
I have
Yeah.
heard of Khan
So
Academy.
I think a year ago they made their own AI chatbot. It's called,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Khan Migo, and it's built into their website. And what it does is that once you start an activity on Khan Academy, it'll have like a section where you can chat with it, and so it won't tell you the answer if you're struggling on something. It'll help you work it out yourself. So yeah, you can say that you can officially eliminate tutors in the next 10 years, 15 years if you have AI chatbots like these. But yeah,
Yeah, but like if that's already happening, why are there still tutors? Like, why isn't everyone
no,
using
I
it?
mean not now. I mean like in the next
Um,
10, 15 years.
yeah, yeah, but like you're saying, why doesn't everyone just use Khan Academy instead of hiring a tutor?
I guess yeah, of course
Just,
there are some human elements that are needed in terms of
yeah, I think
tutoring.
people just
Yeah,
prefer probably human
yeah.
connection.
Like cuz I'm a tutor as well, so I understand
Sounds
that.
better. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, do you tutor at the place at Barclay? Do you? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, well,
Yeah, that
whatever.
place. That place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, uh, you don't do any online?
No, I don't do online. Just in person.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
much
Much
easier online. You just sit there.
uh yeah, but there's a lot of like human connections you can do in terms of in person. Like I've had experience in
Yeah, that's
online
true.
tutoring. I didn't really enjoy it that much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't enjoy it. It is sort of just work
Mhm. Mhm.
online. Like, I do have 3, 4 in-person
Mhm.
classes, and I enjoy those much more.
Mm.
Much
Okay.
better to talk to people.
Okay.
But,
Well, back to the
yeah,
topic of AI again. So
yeah, we've
yeah.
gone, we've sailed
Yeah.
away.
So
Yeah.
I think a few more questions and then we'll finish it off. So in terms
All
of
right.
AI and I guess the the field you're studying, which is physics, do you think there's a huge AI integration in terms of what you're studying, or do you think it's just going to be 100% human integrated and nothing really related to AI?
Well, I think in physics we're always trying to find new theorems, new discoveries, and all sorts of new
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And an AI can only really know as much as what is coded into it. Surely, I'm sure it can
Mm-hmm.
learn, but I think we're going to need humans to make these new discoveries, these new ideas and
Mm-hmm.
innovations, especially in physics and chemistry and things like that. Um, an AI can maybe suggest like ideas on which fields to pursue if you want to make some sort of groundbreaking discovery or what to write your PhD thesis on. But I don't think a ChatGPT could write a PhD
Mm-hmm.
thesis. I don't think it could come up with a novel idea and present it. Like I don't know. I don't think that's
Mm-hmm.
possible. Like if you ask ChatGPT to come up with a new physics theorem
Mm-hmm.
for a PhD topic, it can't do that. I don't think it can do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Do you think it could in the
So
future?
yeah, I mean maybe, but I just don't see it happening for a long
Mm-hmm.
time. Can it really extrapolate and come up with a new idea? Like it's hard enough for a human to come up with a new novel way of approaching a problem, rather than a robot.
Right.
So no, I don't think so. I don't think in the near future it's going to be able to write a PhD. Just for example.
Okay. So last question before we close off. From because you've been through high school, you've experienced a lot of things in high school. So so just a final question. What is one thing that you would tell a student that is starting high school to, I guess, a way that they can experience high school in the best way possible by not sacrificing their grades but also enjoying their time in high school?
Meet as many people as possible. The more people, the humans just love interacting with other humans. Unless you're an incredibly strong introvert, it's just human connection. Don't interact with people you don't like. Obviously, don't get along with, but just meet as many people as you can. Be friendly with as many people as you can. Show kindness to as many people as you can, because that just ripples out. Everyone will know your name if you're kind to just so many people. Like everyone on our year level knew my name, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people knew you as well. Like I know you didn't go for a leadership role or anything, but a lot of people knew you, and because you were just you were kind. It's not that difficult. Be kind. And just do as many things as possible. Sign up for chess club. I never signed up for chess club. Actually. Didn't like chess club.
Right.
Mr. Hall was running it, and I beat him, and he did go away.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Really close to finishing off, because every single podcast episode I finish off with 5 rapid fire questions, so you just have to answer them very quickly.
Just instinctively.
Yeah, instinctively. Okay. I mean, you're allowed to think, but just as quick as possible. Okay.
Not allowed to think.
Yeah. Okay. First one is: are you a night owl or are you a morning person? Night owl. Okay. Do you prefer Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts?
Oh, no. YouTube Shorts, but mainly because I'm on my computer more so than on my phone.
Okay. What's your favorite book to read?
This book.
How to?
It's full of like stupid prompts like
I can't see you.
Oh, hang on. How to build a lava moat.
Okay.
For example. And it's just got it's an engineer coming up with goofy sort of results, like how to keep your house from moving, and he describes how to put like pylons in it, and there's an illustration of your house being blown away by the wind. It's very very funny, but also very very mathematically rigorous and very
right. Okay.
Good read.
Not sponsored at all.
Yeah. Although, like, hit me up if you.
Yeah. No, definitely. Okay. Because you live in Waikato mostly, but because you're in Auckland right now, do you prefer Auckland or where you live at home?
I prefer home, Waikato.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I've only been here.
Right. Okay. And last one, one word to describe yourself. Cool. Right. Okay.
I think that
does sum it up. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for this podcast episode. I hope the viewers enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Because we don't meet a lot. Because you're in Auckland, I'm in Waikato, so it's been a while.
I'm coming down for the holidays.
When do your holidays start?
I think my last exam is the Tuesday after next, so about 10 days away, and then.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
So yeah, I think I'll come back for Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay, that's cool.
That's
good. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys really enjoyed it, then please go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and comment, and subscribe to Alex's YouTube channel. He does. What do you do again? You do like past paper.
I do
so he does past paper. What do you call it? Walkthroughs. For NCA level 1, 2, and 3. I'm guessing.
I don't think I have a level 1 in there yet.
Okay, it's
but
just
I
level 2
probably
and level
will.
3.
Yeah. I did geometric reasoning when it was still a paper, but they
Right.
removed it.
Okay.
Anyway.
But yeah, subscribe to his channel as well, and I'll see you guys.
Just Alex
I'll see you
Mathieson.
guys in the next video. Thank you.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right. See ya.